All right, hey guys. So since when I first got into like vintage clothing and things like that, you know, it's like when I was first getting into vintage clothing, unless you bought true vintage, the only brands out there were like pinup girl clothing, and then like sometimes Hot Topic would have something, but it would have like horseshoes or something, or cherries. Cherries were huge, and during that time. And this is like in the early 2000s. And so yeah, there just wasn't a whole lot on the market. So one thing I would do is go to thrift stores and find similar items. I've been obsessed with this brand, this workwear brand from Australia called SUK workwear, a female-owned and operated workwear line that caters to female bodies. And I love their stuff. They're an ethical company, they're size inclusive, their website is very diverse. They're all in all a fantastic brand. But I've been obsessed with their workwear line for like a year. And for me, I just can't afford $150 workwear coveralls at this point in my life. So, and that's totally fine. It's cool, but I thought it might be a fun idea to try and like dupe their workwear line with the closest thing I can get to ethical workwear, which is to thrift something that's similar and then and design, and then manipulate it and tailor it for my body and go from there. So I know this is like a really random and kind of niche video. So this one pair of coveralls that they have on their site is this halter top coverall set that I'll put here. And even though I love all of their stuff, one thing that's so great about their workwear line is they have these tabs that are kind of like waist cinching, and I love that. And then they have little loops and things that you can like put carabiners on and just kind of have, it's like your little utility belt, you know? And anyway, I love that. So I definitely suggest supporting the creators, SUK clothing. If you want to sponsor me, SUK, slide into my DMs. I'm a huge fan. And yeah, so let me show you what I'm kind of working with, because I found something that I think will work. So I found these halter top coveralls on Mercari. They're actually from, I think, Fashion Nova, which is not a sustainable brand, but for my purposes, I think it'll be just fine, because one, they were secondhand, and that's what I got. So these were, I think, like under 20 bucks with shipping and everything. And let me show you what they look like. All right, so these are what we're working with. It's not bad, especially for buying something just off of like online shopping. And I know flares are in, but these are like, I feel like I'm gonna like do the hustle or something, you know? These are very like disco. So yeah, these need to come in because these are way too flared for me. I like more, it's like even a boot cut or something would be better than, but yeah, like a straight leg. And then this part, the collar here, in the SUK brand, they have snaps, and I did buy some snaps. So I'm going to make this like a snap collar so that way it can also be adjustable, because I do feel like it's a little baggy. But yeah, it buttons all the way up. One thing I want to do with the extra fabric down here is use some of that fabric to make some utility loops, and so kind of open up the seams here, sew in some loops and maybe some little clips and whatnot, and just make these my new favorite coverall jumpsuit thing. So yeah, it's not a bad start. These also are like extremely long. I mean, I'm 5'10" and these like go past my heel. So not exactly meeting the mass market when it comes to the length of these pants, which, you know, these, and when I already dyed these, so these were light blue when I first got them, but I already knew that I wanted a darker blue, so went ahead and dyed them when I was dyeing some other things. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna take these off and turn it inside out and get to pinning the pants. So I just had an epiphany when I was taking off these pants, is that I would use these pants that I really like the pant width and lay them on top as a pattern for my coveralls. So that way there's not any guessing. So I think that'll be a much better idea. Match up the waist. There we go. So really it's just this bell-bottomy part that needs correcting. So I'm going to put a little mark here to just show that that's where I'm stopping at, kind of like the vanishing point. Yeah, I really want to get into tailoring a whole lot more. I just, you know, have loved the idea of it, just lack the skill. But, you know, that's something you gain with practice. It is hard to tailor things on yourself, but not impossible. There's this sewist that's been on PBS for years. She has since died, but her name was Sewing. Her show is called Sewing with Nancy, and she had this entire series on tailoring and customizing your clothes and stuff like that. Very good and very informative. All right, so that's one side. I feel more confident with that. Now yeah, and I love the idea because, you know, as weight fluctuates and your body changes over time, it's, you know, if you love your clothes, then like, why get rid of them? And just because like your body's changed. And, you know, I really love, you know, my closet and I found pieces that work for me and I really feel good in, and it's like to try and find those same things in a different size, like, doesn't sound like a fun thing. So I'm probably using way more pins than I need to. I'm following a straight line, you know? It's not exactly rocket science. Okay. Yeah, good enough. So now I need to go set up my sewing machine. It's been a minute. All Alrighty, so I've gone through and sewn and cut off the bell bottoms, and I have also separated the collar. So I'm just going to unstitch a little bit here and fold it in on itself, and then just do a quick little stitch. And then I have these 5/8 inch heavy duty snap kit, and I still need to figure out exactly the placement. I was thinking about different, like 2 different rows, so that way I could tighten it and loosen it as needed. And then I have these scrap pieces here that I'm going to make the little utility loops out of, and I think I'm going to do quite a few around the waist area, like the waistband, and just take out these little, you know, open up a couple stitches and then just stitch it right back. One thing I did notice is, which is pretty obvious, is that it has this contrasting light blue stitching. So I'm gonna try to, on the inside only, because that's where it is, to do the contrasting blue stitch. So my first attempt failed, but it may have been because I was using a mallet and not a hammer. So I have a hammer now. Okay. So and this little doodad goes there, I think. Oh, wait, what? Oh. Ugh. Go figure, I was doing it wrong. Okay, so that's not, is that right? It's on. So that one I messed up. Through here and then hammer down. And then you snap. Okay, this is making sense. I have to say it out loud anyway. So again, make a little hole. I'm trying to use it more like an awl than I am trying to like cut the fabric or whatever. Although I am cutting the fabric, so it's not, it's just, I don't want it to be like a big hole. Just barely enough to get it through. Alright, so we got the snaps done. It still has plenty of room to fold over. And then I want to, over here, put those little loops. So I'm just going to open up the stitches just a little bit. And let's see, where do I really want them though? Let me do one on the side here. The little loop there. Just make it wide enough for the top to slip through. Tuck it right up in. There we go. Voila! Little loop. And I was thinking I want to do one up on the pocket too. Like maybe just tucked in up here underneath the pocket. Might be kind of cool. So it's just like a little loop there. I'm going to open it. And then I actually think I want to do a pin holder. So I'm going to open up this side pocket seam and do, because I have this, it's like this 7-in-1 pin. It has a level on it. Little screwdriver, measuring tool, stylist, and of course regular pin. And I'd love to be able to carry that. So let's measure. Give it room about there. Alright. So I'm really liking how the pants are fitting and everything, but they are still a bit too wide, too big around the waist. So I'm going to do what a lot of utility pants or like military pants do, which is a very simple fix, which is literally, I have a pair of pants here that do it. All you take is a piece of extra fabric and attach it, then put a few buttons there, and it just makes it a little tighter. I have military pants that have a pull string. I have these utility pants and a couple other pants. I love it. As you fluctuate with weight, it's very easy to just kind of cinch it in. I could even add more buttons if I lose more weight or whatever. So it's a nice little fix, and even though these overalls, coveralls, whatever, have belt loops, I like not always having to wear a belt. So yeah, I'm going to use the extra pant leg fabric and literally just trace out a little bit bigger than this. So let me show you. I'm just going to trace a bit of the seam allowance there and then top stitch, you know, turn it inside out. You'll see, you'll see. Give a bit of a seam allowance there. Alright, and then I'm going to cut this out and use this as the pattern for the other pieces I'll need. So these are, right sides together, leaving this end open, and then I'll turn it inside out, press it, and top stitch, and do a buttonhole. I went into my button stash and just found these little simple white buttons. Lighting's off. There you go. Just chose whatever I could find that I had enough of. Alright, the test was a success, so now for the real deal. You just take your seam ripper, insert it into there, and you got a buttonhole. Alright, so here is the finished results. As you can see, no more bell bottoms. I really don't have a good place right now to show off outfits. I did notice that these are a bit baggy now, which I'm not loving. I mean, I want it to be roomy, but this is just a little too much, so I think I might go in and just take in the sides here. But overall, I'm super happy with how it turned out. You know, the snaps here, much more functional than having to just like lift it over your head and all that kind of stuff. Then I have my little loops here and there, and then I went ahead and added this little thing here so I can cinch in the waist. Voila. When I bought these fit really well, but I've lost almost like 20 pounds in the last few months, so they're getting just a bit big, which is fine. That's the nice thing about being able to take things in. But yeah, I really like them. They're really comfortable. I think after I take them in just like, I don't know, an inch on both sides, that I'll like them a lot more. It's kind of like the catch-22 when it comes to stretch jeans and stretch denim. It fits great at first, and then once you wear it for, I don't know, a couple hours, it gets so baggy. So it's like you almost have to get like a size or two smaller than what you normally would get if you want them to fit for a while. But anyway, I think they look really similar to the SUK coveralls, halter coveralls. It is a bit roomy up here too, so it still needs some alterations just because I have lost weight, so which is for me a positive thing. Love all the little like hangy doodads and the little pen holder here, and it just makes it so much more utilitarian, which I'm all about. And they're super comfortable, but a good like lightweight denim. It's just funny how you can take something that's like from fast fashion to turn them into something that I'll definitely wear. And you know, it's just simple fixes that totally changed it from something I would never put on to something that I'm going to wear all the time. So you can give new life to thrifted items, and please do like and subscribe. Yeah, thanks for coming along. See you next time. Bye.